2K25 is coming out in about a week now, and I wanted to do something different before 2K25 today and look back at 2K24 as a whole and rank the best moves in the game. Now, some of you might be wondering why publish something like this so late in the year. Well, 2K24 was really unique in the way that so many of the glitchiest moves and the best combos were undiscovered until very late in the game's life cycle. For example, Steezo, he returned about Season 8 out of Season 9, and he showed the community 5+ of the best moves that nobody was using. So this is really like a complete recap of all of the best moves from every single community, whether 5v5, Rec, Pro-Am, Anti-Up. This is a recap of all the best, moves from the entire year. And I really do recommend watching until the very end, because all of the most basic and generic spammy moves, the behind the back spams, the snatchback spams, those are going to be covered very early in the list. Those have nothing on the final, 5, 6, very rarely seen but insanely complicated moves that'll just kill any lockdown. So now let's get into it. First, I want to start with a couple of honorable mentions. First honorable mention is the forward wall cross. This was often seen once you get that little inside edge on the lock to be used to just spam and get the standing dunk rim run. Now there's also the tray behind the back, which is another honorable mention. This is very close, again, to the wall forward cross, but I think it's harder to get ripped. You keep it on the outside of the body. I think it's a little bit better than the wall forward cross. Nobody really used it other than me, though, because everyone was spamming the Murray behind the back. Finally, we got the wall step back as our third honorable mention. This spammy shit, I used Luka all year, but everyone else was spamming this snatch back to go back on an angle. It was very good to speed boost out of it. I mean, it was like the dribble style that everyone hated and everyone used. Coming in at number 10, first, we've got the LeBron step back, aka the AI step back. I prefer to use this move to initiate a crab. I feel like a lot of people use it to just try to create the space. The issue with that is it's just straight vertical back space, right? A wide jump from a lock will close it out to a high red contest and make it an unmakeable shot. So what I started to do with the AI or LeBron step back is use it as a crab move to where I can pin my defender on my back. However, to actually do that, it requires a lot of setup. So I can't really put this move any higher than 10, in all honesty. It's a very good move, but it's very counterable just by a wide jump. A lot of bad players act like this move is unstoppable or unguardable, or like park players depend on this move. If you're getting cooked by this move still in 2K24, you need to examine your defense and your Y button. Number 9, now we're looking at the Pro 2 front fade and or back fade. The front fade was used a lot more for the 5v5 running in around a screen and pulling up the midi 2. This was the quickest pull up in the game, and it was very hard to contest with blinders properties. In addition, with Pro 2 though, Pro 2 also had an amazing run back spin back shot for the ISO players. As you can see here, here's a couple of my clips where I'm sprinting back behind the 3 and just launching full fade backwards. This was easier for me to time than going side to side, and it was just as easy as going forwards. So the Pro 2 front and back fade comes in next. In addition, while mentioning Pro 2, I forgot to mention, it also has some of the most ridiculous heat check properties in the game. I swear, hitting this shot from beyond half court, fading left or right, is easier than standing still. So Pro 2, also for the heat checks. Next up, we've got the Mitchell step back, the Davion Mitchell step back. This was a move that could only be done in one direction away from your dominant ball hand, and it was tied to only short guards. However, this was by far the best step back in the game. This is Ticino's step back that he launched early in the year from half court. This thing has never been bad. It's impossible to get a hand up on this if you don't know it's coming. Even if you know it's coming, it's impossible to contest. You just get such good backward spacing. Now we're looking at number 7. The Morant flip. Now, the Morant flip was one of the earliest glitch moves. It's this little spin move. So it's a very versatile move. Almost has never got, it's probably got like a 90% succession rate for killing locks for me this year. Still one of the best. All right, next up, we have the Jamal Murray behind the back. The dreaded Jamal Murray. You can continuously spam this. You can just use it to get good horizontal break. I fucking hate this move. Now, number 5, going right alongside that, the other staple of standstill dribbling, the left stick cancels and or the L2 cancels. We're just combining these all into one spot here. I understand they're two different moves, but you really have to understand both of them to really get the most out of either move. So the L2 cancel cancels, and the left stick. All right, now here we're going. We're breaking in now at number 4. We're looking at the superior way to finish the ball for any guard this year. It is the Booker floater. If you don't know this floater, let me just basically say it eliminates the need to have any type of mid-range bag whatsoever. All you need to do is shoot the 3 and have this floater, and you are unguardable. This floater also works and abuses heat check so well that you will constantly have heat check the entire game. So this floater alone is just like the optimal way to break 2K24, because not only is the floater unguardable, but every 3 floaters you get heat check, and then your 3 is unguardable. All right, next, number 3, top 3, we're looking at the Sham God Nutmeg Spin Back. Now, this move is best when performed out of a spin. If you perform it out of a spin, you get the Sham God going sideways. This move will literally launch you back behind the 3, and it will be unrippable. Not only that, but it is also the highest percentage move to create ankle breakers that I've used all year. This thing gets an ankle breaker at least once a game for me. All right, top 2 moves, baby, top 2 moves. Now, we're going to refer to number 2 as the sideways wall spam. Now, the sideways wall spam is essentially linking a spin into the wall crossover, which allows you to use the wall crossover sideways to create distance from your defender. You know, the way that everyone normally uses the wall to launch yourself in front of the defender. You can use the wall to launch yourself away from the defender to create space for a 3. Now, this move becomes even deadlier, and it's really the second best move in the game when you combine it with the Jamal Murray spin back, and this just allows you to continuously sideways cross, spin back, sideways cross, spin back, all the way up the entire court. It pairs perfectly with the Devin Booker floater, because out of the spin back, you have a full 90 degrees that you can cross. You can cross back anywhere straight sideways, all the way to straight forwards towards the rim. So the defense is at your mercy. You can continuously use it to chain for 3s. You can use it to, quick crossover in front of the defender after a spin back, get a floater. Easily number 2. Finally now, number 1. Number 1 will probably shock a lot of you because a lot of you won't have heard of this move. Number 1 is the auto crab. Let me describe it to you. Imagine you're playing perfect defense, boxing your defender up perfectly. One-on-one, you are directly between him and the basket. The auto crab essentially legitimately just scoots him around you and pushes the offensive player backwards into that defender's back. So the auto crab will take a defender that is playing perfect defense, and it will just automatically slide him on the inside edge of him from the basket, and then it's a free 3. It's a free crab. If the lock doesn't know it, the only way you counter this is by sitting far enough back to where you cannot be crabbed by the animation. But if you're that far back, a good player with Patty Mills is just splashing that bitch in a light contest. You're getting a yellow contest on a wide jump at the distance you have to be. So this one move just breaks defense. It's impossible to guard. You're giving up a 3 from range, or you're giving up the 3 from the crab. It's ridiculous. It's the best move in 2K24. Praying they bring it back for 2K25. Do you use any of these moves? Comment down below which your favorite move was this year. Thank you all for watching.